Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host and Pearl Dane, the one, the only, master of propaganda. Off here to a wondrous 1v1 on crossroads in the north. It is Acehiro, fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Here with the second invasion, tasked with holding line as the Germans are rolling out a counterattack here under the command of Imbbe, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Rolling out here with the Panzer featuring assault support with the artillery field officer, cargo trucks, that is the double blitz, strafing runs, fragmentation bombs, and the Tiger tank. Acehiro, of course, going with the all-American classic airborne with Pathfinders, 50 cals, paratroopers, paradropped anti-tank guns, and P-47s. Double infantry, anti-tank gun bulletins. Pathfinder Rifle versus Grenadier MG42. Fairly standard openings here from both sides. So off to the races here we are. And of course a big thanks as always to my patron supporters, champions and heroes, one and all of the Propagandacast. You too can join the ranks by pledging on Patreon, supporting it for hopefully 1,000 years. And as you know, links in the video description from that. You can also donate by PayPal, that is also most appreciated. And as you know, comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button, satisfy the YouTube algorithms. So far looks like things are going to get spicy a bit here by the eastern field point. As Rush moving forward, we got the M42 and the Grenadiers ready to resist and repulse this American movement here under Acehiro's command. Meanwhile, forces actually also in the east. We got the Pathfinder squad nearby, so Acehiro was definitely hoping to get a bit frisky around the eastern field point. But Imbbe and the Panzer so far managed to lock this down fairly aggressively, leaving Acehiro's reactions on the in the west to sort of do most of the work. They're grabbing points. Grabbing the point here, machine gun repositioning, pulling it further back from away from the front line. Seems like a curious choice there by Imbbe. Not entirely sure what he's thinking there. We've got the Pathfinders hiding out there, ready to ambush any Germans. Now he's repositioning it, moving towards the centre instead, it seems. Interesting. Second Grenadier squad almost done. I mean, he must be banking on his opponent, thinking the machine skill will be there, and then, you know, sending it elsewhere to then do work there. That's definitely not a bad assumption, though of course a bit risky. If his opponent then makes another big push here, he's obviously going to get surprised. But on the other hand, if it pays off, obviously his opponent can walk into an enemy fortress he's not expecting to be there at all. So these are the sort of MD42 mind games you can expect at the higher levels at times. Third Grenadier squad here for Imbbe. Rival squad sitting out there. Ground Western Field Pioneer. Third Grenadier squad halfway done. Pioneer setting out. Third Grenadier squad almost done. Grab the southern point here. So far, a lot of riveting action here. Third Grenadier squad almost done. Imagine Acehiro is going to go here for the fast lieutenant, leading on with the race towards freedom. Terms and conditions may apply. Grenadier rifle squad there in the centre there, a bit of skirmishing there. So far, no major engagements, no major pushes. Imbbe here is actually kind of continuing the entire system. We've got a beacon going up here, which may in fact reveal to you that Imbbe's got nothing in the east. What are the sensors picking up? I don't know. I don't know how to read this thing. God damn it. Reasons holding up there. So big push into the cemetery. At the same time, Acehiro sneaking into the lumber yard here. Machining forward, going to screening off there. So yeah, we'll have to see how Acehiro responds to that, but definitely quite a significant push in some ways here from Imbbe into the west. I mean, if he gets backfired on him, he's going to be in a really bad place. We got the lieutenant out here though for Acehiro, freedom and democracy, the 2nd Infantry. Pathfinder being hit, so of course Imbbe needs to counterattack on this immediately. Tech almost done here for Imbbe. I imagine some armoured cars here. Will be interesting if he goes for the artillery field officer. Fairly good unit, but many Wehrmacht players, if they do go for a commander with him, tend to overlook him because it does require a bit more input to get the most out of. Almost got the eastern field point here. So yeah, definitely a bit interesting approach here from both sides on the map here. Acehiro's looking to pressure Imbbe around the western field point, obviously. And again, there's just no response from him towards the eastern one. They're roughing it off here. And that was a good hit there. Pioneers there at the ready. Another beacon here from Acehiro. Then here's the lieutenant. Can of course be equipped with them with the MG42. I'd like to make a nice company for Imbbe and the Panzer Division. There's something about in the north. Might try and go for deep flank here again, using the terrain there to get on the field point there. Maybe avoiding some of the main German points of resistance. Skirmish around the center, lieutenant being focused on by the Grenadiers machine towards here. Imbbe is definitely playing a much more fluid Wehrmacht game. which necessarily isn't bad, but like if he doesn't like hold the fuel point for any prolonged period of time, it means just Acehiro risks just getting more fuel. So while I don't think should not be active and aggressive, he does need to like maintain a more cohesive defense, at least around certain parts of the map. Though the armored car will definitely assist his strategy here, I think, very well. Although a 250 half-tech could also be an excellent addition for this. I'll be moving on the center here. Gonna use there, almost got the light machine reason going for those some fuel points. Should move in to contest that. Routes going from there, and there you go. Pathfinders with the 2 grenadier squads here, no light machine and give out on them. The 2-2 though, it's right around the corner here for the German army. Hit the cop on there as well. We've got a cop on being hit as well. Grenadiers now being surrounded. That's it. Lewis drops there. There's a car 90 case planted straight for his skull, and there you go, roughing it off. And whew, holy smokes, a full wipe then Acehiro. That is amazing there for him. But we can go for the officers now as well there. But of course, go in the immediate 4th squad here with a bit more assault capability, but also support abilities, which I think would be a fairly good investment here. And we could see also another squad wiped out here for Acehiro. That would be a humongous blow there. At least Imbbe is not calling the field officer or anything else. Instead, he's going for the Pack 40. Obviously concerned about the Stuart light tank, which does make sense. Almost got the fuel point. I'm surprised again Imbbe is not particularly like keen on actually contesting these fuel points so much there. But then it's Pack 40 halfway done. Bunker up there for Imbbe as well. Blazers quick to fall back. Machine gun grenades bring in. We've also got the armored car here as well. The 2-2. Like their punches be wagon, but really rough here for Acehiro. They're losing the Rifle Squad, meaning he's very short in overall frontline units at the moment. Calling a 50 cal. Question is he planning to call in like more Pathfinders, Rifle Squad? Is he actually thinking, you know what, I'm going to go for paratroopers all the way? Moving forward. Machine holding up there. Gonna just route it. Telemines here from Imbbe. That's a very nice spot there. Always good with some teleminen. Telemeaning plate in German, because they kind of look like plates. If you live in Germany, I guess. And you like the plates exploding. Which the Germans do. Nah. Anyway, Stuart, there was the Grenadiers. It was actually a fairly flexible mine, though. Could also be used effectively like, a satchel charge or a grenade even, like the Germans would occasionally use them, basically throw them up in front of the Soviet assault on the Eastern Front, for example, and you need to just detonate it because it could be detonated via cord. So it could be, that way used in many ways. So, little fun fact there about the telemine. Another fun fact about German mines is the Germans actually would apply anti-tamper devices on them, meaning if someone tried to disarm them, they blow up in their faces. So that's another little fun fact about German mines. Something went flying there. Possibly a squirrel. Machine gun moving towards the centre there, but backed up at the punish or the calf on the armoured cutting eastward. So far, Imbbe's got really good mackerel here versus Acehiro again. Acehiro losing the infantry squad. They really put him back. He does have the Stuart out, but does he? Oh, he does. It's being repaired over here. Or he encountered the Pack 40. Going versus the Rifle Squad Lieutenant. Not the best engagement here for Imbbe. He might actually want to be better off backing off here rather than keeping up with this particular line of attack. Another 5th cal here for Acehiro. Looks like he's going to make up for the infantry with the machine guns of the heavier kind. And that's definitely one way to do it. Oh, we do get the officer up for Imbbe. Thumbs up. 5-man squad with 4 MP40s and a Luger. Gets excellent diversion ability, smoke barrages for free, spying aura, and can also call in some other stuff as well. Fairly handy unit if you remember to use the abilities, as he can definitely pack a punch and provide you with a lot of utility on the front line. So, very nice units, plus the MP40s, also quite nice as well. Obviously the Luger is less impressive, as such, in terms of the firepower compared to the MP40. Now, fun fact, there was a version of the Luger back in World War I which actually saw service with the German stormtroopers, because it could, basically had a bit better range, could effectively be set up to be like a carbine with a snail magazine. So before the MP18, the German Stoßtruppen would use the Luger as their main weapon of assault there. So a little fun fact there about the Luger. But that's also not what the officer's wielding. He's not wielding the artillery Luger, which was again a fairly big Luger. On comes the Stuart, that is definitely not a good engagement there for Imbbe. Bit of skirmishing there, Mortar almost done there for Imbbe. Got Nat in the alpha, always a good addition there. And I'm surprised Acehiro's not putting more pressure there. I mean, he's definitely allowing Imbbe to hold a much wider sort of part of the map here than he really should. That said, I think Acehiro's about to punish him for it, so that's good by Acehiro here. Officer moving forward, gonna need some smoke here. There we go. Smoke called in there from the nearby batteries. That's it. Over low on health. Pathfinder's nearby. Nothing to support the officer, at least meet, but there you go. Gunny's arriving. Also got the MD4 moving forwards here. No tech yet, theme, but I definitely think you can start setting up soon. Eastern film exists here by Acehiro, who by the way has research Browning automatics and other weapons there. Very good. Still, though, not a lot of infantry here. Definitely, I think you should consider paratrooper squad soon, and of course, Imbbe should consider taking up soon. 50 cal though, wiped Pack 40. Definitely a mistake there by Imbbe moving up to Pack 40 like that. I'm not entirely sure what possessed him to do that. Maybe he got a bit overconfident. Hubris, you know, sort him out. In which case, he definitely delivered. That said, looks like his opponent won't be able to get away with Pack 40 at least, but that still was not the best position in the Pack 40, and of course, an easy wipe there for Acehiro's 50 cal. Because here's a fun fact, machine guns perform incredibly well versus anti-tank gun crews, because anti-tank gun crews cannot be suppressed. And here's the thing about machine guns. They don't do all of their full damage because suppressed units take less damage for quite a while there, but anti-tank guns don't get suppressed. They take full damage, and that means, for example, 50 cal in particular can like quickly wipe an anti-tank gun, but even like MD42s are great versus them. So, little fun fact there. But that gunny squad wiped out. Team could even drop the light machine here for Acehiro to seize. Did not. In fact, he's lost 2 Grenadier squads. That is... I only lost 1, never mind me, but still losing 1 Grenadier squad is pretty bad here for Imbbe. For some reason, again, I thought he had gone for 4 Grenadier squads. He obviously hadn't, but again, it's so common with the Wehrmacht players increasingly, you know, my mind partially assumed that here as well. Now, of course, you can use the diversion ability to boost the officer himself a bit. That's actually a pretty good ability to use in situations like these. Did not miss the opportunity, I would say, there. Finally got some tech left for Imbbe and the Panzerlehr Panzer Division. 10 swing about here, Grenadiers there, by the way, should be upgraded with the LMG-42. I'm a bit surprised he's not doing that. Acehiro could consider calling the paratrooper squad now. Calling an anti-tank, and he's obviously concerned about German armor, considering the timings and everything, though. Makes a ton of sense, though, for Acehiro to be concerned about German panzers. Again, he should always be concerned about a rather notable deficit of infantry. Obviously being charged here. Stuart Racing Force there for Freedom and Democracy. 5 kills, veteranly 2. Pack on the move there, having been fixed up and patched up. And there we go. All Grenadier squads now under Imbbe's and Deutschland's command here, equipped with the MG-42. Find a nice bit of support there. Did got something up, Gunny's being forced engaging with a lot of machine gun fire plus rough grenades. Almost wiped the 5th cal, there we go, annihilated. A huge blow there to Acehiro. Pack 4 nearby, but not quite set up here much to Acehiro's tank crew's relief, I imagine. Imbbe's got the support equip, could go for the Panther fairly fast. At least Acehiro does have the anti-tank gun, they're not quite crude, and still no paratroopers. He is still dreadfully low in infantry. LG's not upgraded his Pathfinders with bars, which would be, I think, a very strong addition as well there for Acehiro. There we go. 13, almost 14 minute mark. He finally calls in some paratroopers, some screaming eagles. Plus Major Atlas, he also taked up. Thumbs up there to Acehiro. Also pushing forward, but again, need to use the diversion ability. At least use the ability to boost other troops nearby, which is also a handy ability that one Wehrmacht players also forget when they use the officer, if they use them. But it's actually quite good as well. Then, in particular with a bit of veterancy, it becomes fairly solid. Plus, it can actually boost nearby tanks, so that can definitely give you a bit of extra firepower when you need it. Again, Packer getting into a really risky situation there. But he can go for the Panther now, definitely should. Finding an eastern side, we got the Predators pulling forward, light machine guns there, no surprise. Again, I would like to see the Thompson. But again, there's a reason people go for the Browning light machine guns. It works, and obviously it's safe. Still rushing forward here, Panther north for Imbbe. Troops sitting out there. Up there was pushing forward back to the heavy machine gun team. The descendant is quickly sent packing here. Panzer IV right in the corner. Acehiro's doing a lot of work here to really slow down Imbbe's economy, though of course Imbbe is kind of assisting at times, so well he's at times playing around the map at the moment. Good pack shot there. Got the paratroopers there ready with their double Browning light machine guns. Almost got these fuel meaning he can actually soon fill up the tanks as well here versus Imbbe. That's going to be a big problem there for the German player. If Acehiro just starts shining out those Shermans. Machine gun ring in, they got the Panther IV though, almost ready here with this pen-light machine gun. Except there's actually more to go there. Still, definitely a threat there to the infantry. Needs to get that fuel pump pushing on the west side. Got some troops sneaking about, that's mostly the major there. Mortar with 1 kill by Veterans 1. Acehiro can soon go for a Sherman. Later on the road he could also benefit from a few more infantrymen, though he's definitely now sort of closed more like a safe spot there. Handful getting rifle squad, going from the west side, he backed up with the 50 cal. Also worth noting, Imbbe at some point managed to grab the 50 cal away here from Acehiro. I managed to miss that happening. That's a really good steal as well there for the German player, and definitely another issue for Acehiro to deal with. Never mind, explain away. So, General Patton, yeah, the Germans somehow got a hold of a 50 cal and they're holding up 2 companies worth of infantry right now. Yeah. I'll try and get it back. I've tried asking nicely and they don't want to give it back, so I'm gonna have to get a bit violent. Prepared to pursue the machine gun there. Getting the paratroopers, pushing in with the Panther IV, going aggressively. Pin machine is now on the way. Anti-tank getting great here. We got the suit also starting up. They're making it harder here for the Panther IV to respond here to Acehiro's assault. MD4 troop leads providing some cover against the infantry. Sees on the western side. I mean, they're definitely both like very focused on the fuel points, and crucially, they're not like getting completely caught up in the center of the map, which is definitely a mistake some players make. In particular, on a map like Crossroads, where the dynamics of the map almost like, you know, cause the places naturally gravitate towards it. It's very common to see players get obsessed about the center on a map like this, but both Imbbe here and Acehiro, I think, are very, you know, crucially not getting caught up in this little trap here. So, you know, I want to point out, like, Imbbe's, like, you know, in some ways could be defending his territory better. At the same time, I feel like he's avoiding some of the more typically not very good patterns you see from players on Crossroads. As it is a map, I feel like that can result in a lot of repetitive gameplay behaviors in some ways. Sherman there for Acehiro, very good for him. Imbbe's not fired from another Panther IV, would also be good. Turn versus the Panzerkampfwagen 4. Fifth coming out here for Acehiro, of course, note manned by Pathfinders for extra line of sight there. Stood racing in there, east level. Of course, one thing Acehiro could consider here, may not do it though, but of course, once the Sherman arrives, pop out the Steward crew, replace the Sherman with it, so that way he gets a faster veteran Sherman. That could be an idea here to consider for Acehiro. Not something most players do, but you know, it can be quite powerful used correctly. Ooh, he actually popped shells. Oh, he never popped shells. I was about to say crippling shot for some reason. Silly me. A lot of manpower expended there, so no additional Panther IV here. Western point being claimed here by Acehiro and the 2nd Infantry Division.
Tank support is here. A capture point is under attack.
Sherman out for Acehiro.
A capture point is being overrun.
There's the echelons. So is he planning to stall for a Tiger tank now? Bit ambitious. I feel like gonna feel like just more tanks right now serve Imbbe a lot better. I suppose I could try it. They got the officer there better too, by the way. He's also got a strafing run now, able to help disrupt. Oh, he's still going for another Panther IV. Very good. And again, he could have tried to start stalling for the Tiger tank, but I feel like just more Panther IVs would serve Imbbe a lot better versus Acehiro. Hopefully helping their officer there doing some damage, though I feel like he's being overly bold here with the officer, honestly. Picks up the Panzer IV. Second Panzer IV on the way here for Imbbe and Deutschland. The Panzerlehr Panzerdivision. The Panzerlehr was a sort of ready-made elite Panzer division by the Germans, utilising training crews and instructors from across Germany, and that way formed into an already, like, elite division. Was also incredibly well equipped with, Panzer IVs, Panthers, Pumas, but also, like, each Panzer Grenadier, unit was actually equipped with armoured half-tracks to a full degree, which is actually fairly rare. In fact, it was incredibly rare, because most Panzer divisions really only got, like, 1 battalion of mechanized infantry, but the Panzerlehr got, like, every one of them fully of that, so bit noteworthy there. Bit noteworthy. The only Panzer division focused on in Normandy, which was in fact I think the only one really had that many half-tracks, was actually the 21st Panzer Division, and those were converted French half-tracks that have been up-armoured, but technically still armoured half-tracks. So, little fun fact there. Still rushing out here for Acehiro. Time to go straight for the paratroopers. Good hit it from the end to take the punch straight for the Panther Force armor here under Imbbe's command. You could consider deploying a smoke screen here and then pushing through. Smoke is always a good tool. The plus he's got the officer deploying more smoke as well there, so you could like lay down a fairly effective smoke screen and then push in with strafing support as well. That could actually make for like a fairly efficient blitzkrieg assault here versus Acehiro, which could possibly like it'll even completely force a retreat or get destroyed. So that could be an idea to consider there for Imbbe. But he's going to deal with the fuel pond there being harassed. Acehiro can still go for another Sherman, but it might be he's planning for the M36 Jackson tank destroyer here to put pressure on Imbbe. Different faults on the fire from the Stewart. Thankfully getting the rifle scored. That's what Imbbe's planning. I mean, more Panther Force honestly would make plenty of sense. They could also consider some Stugs here. Osman could also be in particular as an opponent with airborne. Like, there's a really good chance of P-47 rocket strafe at some point, in which case having an Osman is going to be some really good insurance against that. That's it, he's pushing his Panther to the max and gets punished for it. Wipe that great kill there for Imbbe. Those tanks are so heavily damaged, you can't actually look to exploit that further, though you definitely should try to push it with the Sherman out of the way. There's going to be a little here from Acehiro to stop it. Acehiro is floating a lot of manpower now that I notice it. That's a bit questionable. Got another Jackson down the way. You may actually have to consider another anti-tank gun meanwhile, though, to help ensure that, Imbbe does just like to stomp all of them with his Panzerwaffe there. Got the officer pushing in again there, close to the ace level, backed up at the 5th cal, and we got the Pack 40 number as well. Charging at the paratrooper line, I think is less efficient. Should either pop diversion or smoke screen on the paratrooper. I think they've been a lot wiser here for Imbbe. Instead, he just feeds the paratroopers free experience and just throws a lot of manpower out the drain, or down the drain. Another Pioneer squad there for Imbbe, and for Deutschland, 5th cal there, dealing with a paratrooper that's pretty close there as the double 30 cals. Got another 5th cal up north here from Acehiro. Jackson right around the corner there for the Americans. Panther 4 fixed up. Second one that veterans you want. And there you go, fresh Pioneers. Officer back. 5 kills now. Fragmentation bomb now available. Push in the center here from Acehiro versus Imbbe.
We've dropped to 200 points.
200 points left to fight Acehiro. They have to use something soon as Imbbe, or he's just getting, crushed. A mortar could be a good investment here for Acehiro. He could go for the Scott, but I feel like some sort of decision towards the light artillery, I think, is necessary for Acehiro to help push through Imbbe's center, or at least elsewhere, really. Jackson on the move here, Panther on the move as well. Just got these to the fuel. And the Western assault here, but held up by the MD-42, calling in artillery. They're here with the off major. Almost. Oh, he got the Panzer IV there. Great kill here for Acehiro. Definitely a bit of a slap there to Imbbe. And the Western machine gun there being hammered by American artillery fire. Not clearly what Imbbe's planning here versus Acehiro. Is he planning a tiger now? Still taking it here from the Pack 40, straight for the front line. Officers very close to the ace level. We got almost full victory points control here of Acehiro versus Imbbe. Got the officers, the paratroopers again, and there you go. We got a cooked palm grenade on the officer. Most ends up killing some squirrels though, hiding in the bushes. Pathfinders, Acehiro also got upgraded with a bar.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Pioneers pushing in. Bit of quiet. As both players, I think, assessing their current situation. Acehiro needs to be quick about it because he can't afford to think too much about it. I mean, he's rapidly running out of victory points. Stood fixed up. Got the pan towards the private squad. Pioneers in the centre. And a Sherman tank here for Acehiro. Very good. I still think he would benefit from some artillery of some sort as well. Stuart racing in and going for the Gandhis. 18 kills to his name. Predator was close to the ace level there. There we go. Panther fast on the Stuart light tank. Continuing, we got Gandhis. We got the MD-42. Both Ace and the Lieutenant is in a pretty hazardous situation there for Acehiro. Quickly falls back. You got 479 to 153. The situation for Acehiro is quickly getting awkward. He's going for the Scot instead, realizing he needs some sort of artillery here to support his attacks. He commits to the Scot rather than the Sherman. Not a bad idea, though, has its own risks, but again, I do think crucially he really needs some sort of artillery. Though again, the Sherman could provide the smoke, which I think he also needs, but the Scot provides him with free smoke and of course just direct high explosives from a more helpful angle. Rouse coming forwards here, so Scott is almost done here for Acehiro and the 2nd Infantry Division. And we got artillery from the Major. This is Major Jones. I need that machine gun flattened. God damn it. So I said flattened. Mostly just rumple their uniforms. Goddamn clowns. What do you mean I can't call you clowns? You goddamn clowns. You goddamn missed the machine gun. God damn it. Goddamn clowns. Moving out in the centre there. Stoodling about here. But yeah, the machine completely avoided the artillery strike there. And 4 takes a directive from the Jackson. But yeah, it does look like Imbbe is possibly planning it for Tiger. So yeah, 2nd Pack 40. He's definitely strong for the Tiger tank. Which is definitely, I think, what Acehiro needs. It's like, you know, maybe turn the game around. Is his opponent trying to solve for a Tiger tank? Rather than just add more medium armor now. Of course, it does depend on what Acehiro does next. We got artillery from the Scot. He bombarding the Pack 40 crew there. Lieutenant, the Learsons, Waltz further exploited gaps here. We got bazookas in the hand. Good here on the 5th cal there. Pack's about to get wiped out. That'd be a great kill there for Acehiro. He's probably going to destroy it. Oh, no, he's going to run off with it. That's going to be a bit painful and then for Imbbe. Pack crew wiped again. I think he's just going to destroy it, at least attempt to destroy it before the Germans run off with it. Scott there could try and move a bit further close to the front line, but yeah, Scots were generally used for infantry support here. They were fairly ubiquitous.
We lost an infantry unit.
5th cal getting hammered out in the open, about to get murdered. What? 5th cal, great kill there for Imbbe. Definitely puts Acehiro on the spot again. He still needs to work on those victory points. There you go, the bombardment here on the Pack crew is almost on that paratrooping force as well here. Another paratroop squad I think could also be a great addition here for Acehiro, to be honest, at this point. Like, he needs, you know, I think a bit more infantry to really carry the fight here, but there you go. Ooh, grenade here would be great here on the machine gun. There we go. Didn't get the other Pack 40, but he did whack the machine gun. That said, needs to get the anti-tank up to support there. Stirring up here, engaging the mortar crew there. Things are definitely a bit spicy there. He's also lost his major, actually. He won't be calling anyone goddamn clowns anymore. Well, maybe in hell. Another Sherman there for Acehiro, freedom and democracy. Imbbe so far, no tech. But again, definitely looks a lot like the Tiger stall here. Jackson here repairs. MD-42 the left behind, and I think Acehiro realizing this makes a run for it. Also worth noting, he's flooding a lot of munitions. I mean, we're not seeing mines from him, but we're certainly not seeing air support being used either. So I definitely feel like Imbbe here could work a bit more on utilizing the munitions more efficiently here versus the Americans. Good to see another grenade here. There we go. Drive grenades off as well. Still no air support here from Imbbe versus Acehiro. Got the opposite of the move here. Scott bombarding. 3 kills close to things you want. Sherman ready. There we go. Great hit on the Panther with the anti-tank. Another hit there. Bazooka team towards John in. Jackson's off the move here. Going straight for the Scott here. Imbbe wants it dead. Bazooka team to find there. Go rearm exposed and almost got it. Scott almost goes down, but I don't think it's going to happen. He's going to officer moving in. Got the anti-tank gun, but the Bazooka team gets the Panther and Imbbe has no tanks anymore, and he still hasn't tagged up. He still hasn't done up for the Tiger tank. So this could get really, really bad here for Imbbe very fast now, since now Acehiro in many cases has a lot of the advantages, you know, tanks and self-propelled artillery, whereas again Imbe's got, you know, maybe a Tiger tank eventually if he gets that far, because now his infantry will be leading up much more aggressively. So I definitely feel like Imbbe needs to make up his mind, and now does he go for that Tiger or does he start going for tanks now? Because if he doesn't, I think this is going to risk being Acehiro's win here. Jackson being fixed up, and of course the Scots being fixed up as well. 22 kills to the light tank. Pioneers being slaughtered out in the opening, 50 being pushed back as well there. Stuart with the damage in, loses it. I feel like you should try to bail out the crew to pop into the Scott or the Sherman. I think they've been pretty great if they've hit up. But that's that. And still no air support from Imbbe. Not a fan of it. Definitely feels like Imbbe at this stage of the fight is starting to drop a few too many balls. Another Panther falls. So looks like he might have been planning for the Tiger tank, but he kind of realized he goofed about too much and has to go for some medium armor instead. Whatever the case, they definitely inefficient. Should have just then pushed for tanks all along, in which case I think the situation would have been a lot better. But again, by trying this sort of, you know, half-eye to go for the Tiger tank, he basically left him wide open to a good push here from Acehiro. So yeah, definitely great for the Americans, but a big problem there for the German player. That said, he still has a lot of victory points, so technically can still turn this around, but he needs to be fairly smart about this. And I think going for the western side of the map now, where Acehiro isn't, I think is a very tactically judicious decision by Imbbe. So, thumbs up there at least. He seemed to realize again the Tiger tank was a mistake, which I'm assuming he went for there. Otherwise, I really can't explain what the hell he was doing then, otherwise. Another Sherman there for Acehiro, very good, and it's not like he's trying to take the message to turn this game around again. You know, mostly sensible stuff from Imbbe, except, you know, he's still filling a lot of munitions and he's still not using either the strafing run or the fragmentation bomb. Jackson moving their face here. Ground western field point. Something got some flamme. There you go. Double hits for the anti-tanks there on the Sherman. And that class of anti-tanks will definitely, I think, pose a bit of a problem here for Acehiro. That says, unless, of course, it keeps bunching up so easily, in which case the Scot could deal with him fairly aggressively with a good barrage. Raising quality for the gun is just a Stormlight machine gun fire. The bazooka's dropped. Pedros, they're trying to deal with the Grenadiers, though they got light cover versus no cover. That said, I feel like the Grenadiers, I don't know, could go either way really on that one. Actually, the negative cover now. That and we got the Scots here. That becomes the fight there in favour of Acehiro. Grenadiers retreating there. And Imbbe gives up on here. He's not going to try and attack through here. I feel like that's a bad call unless he's again got some sort of brilliant manoeuvre involving the air support, in which case he could still make it work. But if he keeps not using the air support, making increasingly, I think, awkward attacks, I think that is not great for him. But of course, amazing for Acehiro. Good from the pen from the right scope. There we go. He finally gets some air support. A fragmentation bomb on the 50 cal. Never mind the angle. I feel like this should have been part of a bigger assault and then, you know, used, I think, more judiciously. But that's me. He still technically has also a strafing run ready. But definitely seems like Imbbe is kind of struggling here with the current state of affairs. Like, he still has a fairly large force. Again, he has got plenty of support abilities. But it seems like Imbbe can't quite see his way through this. Got a beacon up in the west here by Acehiro's Pathfinders. He's moving on the centre. Straight into the Sherman. High explosive shields, the bow loaded up. There you go, great hit. Almost wipes out the entire Grenadier squad. We got all of the anti-tanks move here for Imbbe. He keeps bunching them up though, so again, if like Acehiro keeps the Scot close by and he's at a good position, to probably bombard them and threaten to wipe them out, which would be great for Acehiro and of course a disaster for Imbbe. He can soon go for another Panther 4, but he honestly also should increasingly consider an Osprey versus the possibility of a P-47 rocket strafe. We know Acehiro can call it in, but Imbbe of course may not be quite as clear on that, but he really should keep it in mind. Like, an Osprey can do a lot to help ensure the P-47 rocket strafe is a lot less good against you.
A capture point is under attack.
He's straight to the Sherman. 10 more in the centre here. Got the anti-tank guns, have plenty there firing at the Sherman there. Mostly misses though. Fortunate for Acehiro. Got the Scot following him again. Got a barrage off it against Imbbe and the Panzerlehr's position. There you go, great on the pack. Almost ready on that Scot. But the anti-tanks moved out of the way there. Scott also pulling back now. West side we got a Sherman there, but plus some Pathfinders hanging out. We got 316 versus 87. And there you go, pack crew caught with the machine gun there, and the crew is being shredded. There you go, pack crew exterminated. Good kill here for Acehiro versus Imbbe. We got the center gun hold here, but the 5th gun pushed back. Can go for another Panther 4 now. Or is Imbbe back to trying to stalling towards a Tiger tank without again at least getting the tech done in time? Which point it definitely starting to look like a really bad habit for me, been wanting going for that Tiger. Stole them pack right under Imbbe's nose. Good there by Acehiro. Definitely another issue here for Imbbe. But yeah, this is... Oh, he's going for another Panther. Okay, thankfully he's a bit more sensible than that for the most part. Well, again, it could be, again, was like, you know, having that internal debate with himself, you know, does he want to go for the Tiger tank or does he want to go for another Panzer 4? They really should also soon consider Osprey, because that P-47 otherwise could really wreak some havoc here on Imbbe and the German army.
The enemy is down. Enemy forces are securing our territory.
More Grenadiers if Imbbe. He cancels the Grenadier squad. Oh no. He's lost the officer, but he's going for more infantry now, while at the same time still trying to stall out for the Tiger tank, but he's still not taking up. Oh, he's finally taking up, but still. I really don't think you should go for another Grenadier squad then. I feel like the timing here for Imbbe is really, really uncomfortable. Guys showing on flank here, Panther rushing forward, got the anti-tank to try and clog up the assault here, as Acehiro is almost firing all full cylinders. Imbbe could try and call in some air support, I think, right around here to maybe make things tougher here for Acehiro to commit to doing the attack, but again, Imbbe really does not seem to be keen on any air support here as Acehiro. Tech is halfway done. Got the 4th Grenadier Squad ready. Should of course immediately equip that with an LMG-42. Show them falling back there.
Enemy forces have 300 points.
Show them they're getting graded on the anti-tank gun. Had he not gone for the Grenadier Squad, he'd be much closer to the Tiger tanks. Again, I'm not entirely sure why he went for it. If we are, machine gun wiped out, anti-tank gun wiped out, machine gun bazooka team out, Panther back knocked out again. And there you go, we do get the P-40 rocket straight. Panther's got a really bad spot, so honestly it doesn't really matter. I think it was a bit too quick on the trigger finger there. But the Panther 4 is most assuredly gone alongside the anti-tank near it. Another pack wiped out, and the situation for the Germans is, I think, to put it gently, completely falling through the floor. When at this point Imbbe's got no anti-tank guns, his opponent's got ample armor and self-propelled artillery, and Imbbe has got plenty of targets for it, but nothing to really resist it with. We got the Scott bombarding the base here, as Acehiro, of course, just looking to deliver as much damage as he can onto the German player. He's trying to pack 40 on his plan. He's in danger of getting wiped out by the Scott, but so far it seems like Acehiro kind of picked the wrong spot to bombard there. Hitting the bunker a bit, but crucially he's not murdering any German infantry with it. So I guess there's a tiny bit of luck here, but Imbbe is again putting all of his eggs into one Tiger tank shaped basket, except no, he's going for the heavy Panzers, of course. What? Has Imbbe completely lost it? I think he has. I think the stress broke him. Otherwise, I really don't get what he's doing. Like, is he deciding now he wants a Panther? Like, if he wanted a Panther, he should have done that much, much sooner. I mean, this is, in particular after all the stalling for the Tiger, and the Panther now is just question. At least he's pushing westwards again, but can he commit to it? Definitely seems like Imbbe is increasingly just struggling here. Like, he's just questioning his own decisions. He's just like he's changing his mind so many times. Well, again, Acehiro at this point is just super certain. He knows what to do, what must be done. And Imbbe, meanwhile, is just flubbering about there, like, you know, can't quite make up his mind, and, you know, just keep changing himself. Whereas, again, Acehiro just rumbles onwards like a steamroller, so definitely feels like Imbbe at this point has lost the match. Even like technically is like, theoretically, I think potentially in the game around mentally, he's kind of like, you know, locked himself out in the cold. There's Basil. Hello, Basil. Can you say hi to the nice people? Yes. Turn on the move here. Okay. Come on, Basil. Can't stand there. Shun racing to the base here. Yes, Basil, I think you're a wonderful kitty. Kinda blocking things. Yes, you are. Panther on the way for Imbbe. So again, he finally commits to something, but definitely feel like this could have been done a lot sooner. Since it is notably cheaper in manpower than the Tiger, at least. But again, this is definitely something I think a decision should come to a lot sooner than he wanted to go for a Panther after all. And now instead he's just like containing the space of Acehiro and the Americans. The situation at this point seems thoroughly lost. Like, I mean, he's troops being bombarded by the Scott again. We got 20 kills on halfway to the ace level. His bunkers are being wrecked here by Acehiro. Panther's almost done. Cut the Panther lead to a sudden comeback. Yeah, no, I mean, if you believe certain people, yes. But I think the harsh reality of it is no. I mean, unless Acehiro panics at the sight of the Panther, just, you know, goes Alt F4 or something, you know, fairly certain this is like, or, you know, just drives his tanks in to get destroyed on the base, I guess. But meanwhile, though, Imbbe's getting his face blasted off inside his own base. He's getting at least one Sherman. There we go, got one.
A medium tank was just lost. Keep up the pressure. They're down to 100 points.
Panther on the move there, shuffling back. But I'd say this match is a fairly good highlight of the fact that some players, while they can handle the early to mid game well, once they sort of hit into like the mid to late game, some players just tend to struggle quite a bit as they don't know how to like handle these larger engagements, or like just know what decisions to make as things like changing overall pace. Then I think that's kind of what happened here to him. But like he handled the early mid game really well. Once he kind of like went beyond mid game point, there's something just completely snapped there with the Imbbe, or like just went stop there, and he just doesn't entirely know what to do. And Acehiro, meanwhile, in his overall a much more just consistent, stronger player in that sense. He like has like a bad situation early on, he can steadily turn the game around, whereas Imbbe's like bit out of his depth here. And it's a skill some players have. Like for example, Loveness is a player that can have a bit of a rough start, but once the game hits a certain point, Loveness just keeps playing very consistently well, and can that way turn the game around his players. So bit unfortunate for him, bit unfortunate, which also makes it stranger than he tried to stall for the Tiger tank when he realized he just kept pushing for medium tanks, but clearly doesn't know how to handle the late game. He really should not be stalling for a Tiger tank then. And there you go, P47 again, Panther dodges it. We got 33 versus 72. 31. He's in trouble here. Panther's also in trouble. Most of Imbbe's forces are in trouble. He did call in a fragmentation bomb, not that they did a lot of damage. Still no 8 strafing runs at all, despite having plenty of munitions for it. Like, definitely also one of the issues here for Imbbe is just not using his munitions. Even early mid-game, they could easily be using a lot more. So I feel like that's another mistake here by Imbbe. 10 points left. Mauling the paratroopers. There we go, almost right with the Scott. And yeah, there we go. GG, game over. A loss. So yeah, remember, if you don't know how to handle the late game, definitely don't stall for Tigers and Panthers. Like, generally you shouldn't, but in particular, if you don't know how to play the Wehrmacht late game, you really shouldn't go for it. And that really seemed the case there for him, but had he just gone for the Panther fast, at least I think he'd be in a much better position. But honestly, he just kept churning up Panther Force or Stooks, and I think he'd be in a much better position. Plus, used his abilities better and laid down some more mines. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. This is Imperial. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.